Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Caitlin. From the silver screen to mainstream, it's a look back at the American fashions that Hollywood made famous in the 30s and 40s.
Always love those clothes.
Yes.
The exhibit at the Chicago History Museum is showing off the sophisticated designs, and that's where we say good morning to our costume curator, Virginia Heaven. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are you?
We're doing great. Talk to us about the glam in the 30s and 40s. Why
yes.
was there so much of that? And why don't we see that kind of thing now, that much glam?
Well, I think if you think about the 30s, it was bookended by the Great Depression and World War II. And the movies were popular. There were up to 85 million people going to the movies every week. And poor people, as well as very wealthy people, it was across the social spectrum that everybody went to the movies. So the influence of costume designers on fashion was pretty profound at that point. Previous to that point, high fashion had come from Paris, but that didn't really affect the middle classes and the poorer classes. But the movies were available to everybody. So it was kind of like a great leveler in a way, I suppose. And then on top of all of that, it was a sort of American style of freshness, independence, and glamour, and it was very appealing to everybody.
Yes, everybody dressed up for everything, even going on board a plane, you know, it was such a big deal.
Or train, sure.
Right, now I understand there's a Chicago connection to this exhibit as well. Tell us about that.
Well, like everybody else actually in Europe and America and around the world, movies were ubiquitous, they were everywhere. And Chicago has a wonderful collection. This particular museum has about 50,000 ensembles. And we have a very strong 1930s collection. And so many of the clothes, we have a lot of French clothes from that period of time, but we also have a lot of really superb American clothes that were influenced by the movies. And some exceptional silhouettes, plunging back necklines, incredible textures, and really, really beautiful clothes.
I would all wear that
Chicago
now.
was essential.
Right? Yes.
They're all wearable now.
Yes.
It's astonishing, really. They have maintained their style, American style.
Well, you know what's interesting now when you see people on the red carpet and they're posing, those designs immediately go, you know, they get copied.
Right.
But back in the day, the movies really led that design, you know, kind of gave those ideas for people to copy right from the movies, not necessarily the red carpet, right?
Well, the red carpet really was not as influential as it is nowadays, I think, in terms of people watching for new styles. But the movies themselves were very influential. And the first fashion influencers, really, if you think about it, in this country, were the designers for movies. So we sort of forget about that because we accept what they did. And they went from the movies to mainstream. So they ended up, at a certain point in their career, many of them went into custom labels. So they had one foot in the movies, one foot in silver screen, and one foot in mainstream. But they influenced style around the world.
Wonderful.
And
you know, we
did a remarkable job.
We want to thank you for coming on this morning very quickly because we're out of time. People can go to chicagohistory.org silver screen for more information. That runs now through January 21st of 2020. So you have plenty of time, but get out there. It seems really interesting.
Thanks so much, Virginia. Great talking to you. And I love this. This reminds me of The Marvelous Miss Maisel, the show, the clothing in that show. I want to wear all of those dresses. I love her stuff.
It's
that was
what you're wearing today.
I know,
kind of,
yeah, it's just coincidence. I just love that look. It's very cool. Okay.